Hello, friends. Welcome to the Last War Channel. Picture this. A colossal steel leviathan, born in shadows and utter secrecy, engineered to rewrite the rules of naval warfare forever. A floating fortress so immense that its very name made entire fleets tremble. This is the story of Yamato, the most powerful battleship ever built by man, a symbol of imperial ambition, engineering triumph, and heart-wrenching tragedy. Buckle up tight. Today we're not just listing facts, we're reliving the epic rise and explosive fall of a legend that still haunts the depths of the Pacific. Part 1. Introduction to the Mystery of Yamato. Symbol of Japanese power and secrecy. Imagine Japan in the late 1930s. A nation burning with pride and paranoia, convinced that only overwhelming force could secure its destiny in the Pacific. The old naval treaties shackled everyone, except Japan quietly slipped the chains. They began building something forbidden, something impossible. Codename, Project Number 1, a 140, the birth of Yamato. At the vast Kure Naval Arsenal, over dry dock. Number 4, they erected a gigantic camouflage canopy, 50 meters high, over 300 meters long, like an enormous tent hiding a dragon. Bamboo, straw, canvas, anything to block prying eyes from the sky. The dock was deepened by 3 brutal meters just to cradle this monster. More than 2,500 souls swore oaths of silence under threat of death, watched every step by the ruthless Kempeitai secret police. In 1938, a single blueprint vanished. True hell broke loose. Arrests, torture, interrogations. One draftsman spent 3 years in prison simply for tossing a scrap of paper into the trash. This was peak paranoia. The project was screened even for sabotage by internal enemies. Even Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the genius behind Pearl Harbor, was kept partially in the dark about her true scale until a certain point. The Americans sensed something massive brewing, but got it wrong, badly wrong. Intelligence reports pegged her at 45 to 57,000 tons, with guns no bigger than 406 millimeters. The shocking truth only surfaced after the war: 72,809 tons full-load displacement, 9 guns of 460 millimeters, 18.1 inches, the largest ever, still unmatched to this day, and on her proud bow gleamed a gilded imperial chrysanthemum crest, 1.8 meters across, the sacred emblem of the emperor himself. Yamato wasn't just a ship, she was Japan incarnate, ancient province, unbreakable spirit, Yamato Damashi, a floating declaration, we will never surrender. Part 2. Design and Engineering. Marvels, Secrets of Construction. The dream ignited in 1934. Japanese admirals ran through 24 feverish variants, each bolder than the last. The goal? One ship that could single-handedly crush 2 or 3 American next-generation battleships. They chose the impossible, 9 460-millimeter monsters. Armor that laughed at bombs, speed to keep up with carriers. Her hull swelled to an astonishing 38.9 meters wide, as broad as a city street, to balance those towering turrets and keep her from capsizing under her own weight. A revolutionary bulbous bow sliced through waves, cutting resistance by up to 10%. During December 1941 trials, she surged to 27.46 knots, 153,553 horsepower, roaring like thunder. 4 Kanpon turbines and 12 boilers fed her hunger, 150,000 shaft horsepower normal, up to 165,000 in overload. Fuel capacity, 6,400 tons of heavy oil for 7,200 miles at cruising speed. But at flank, she devoured 60 tons of fuel every hour, a glutton in an empire already starving for oil. Then came the armor, poetry forged in hardened steel. Main belt, 410 millimeters inclined at 20 degrees to deflect shells like rain. Turret faces, 650 millimeter slabs cast as single monolithic blocks in weeks-long rituals of heat and precision. World record, impenetrable. Deck armor shrugged off 1,000-kilogram bombs from high altitude. Underwater protection, 5 layers of voids, liquids, and 200-millimeter bulkheads designed to swallow a torpedo's 660-kilogram TNT blast. But here was the hidden flaw. The junction between the upper and lower belts proved vulnerable, exactly where Musashi took her fatal torpedo hits at Leyte. 19 torpedoes plus 17 bombs, leading to uncontrollable flooding. Yamato inherited the same Achilles heel. Total armor weight, 22,534 tons, over a third of her entire mass. She was built to survive the apocalypse. Part 3. Armament and Armor. Deadly Secrets. 9. Type 94 guns. 21-meter barrels, each weighing 165 tons. The deadliest naval artillery humanity ever created. Shells of 1,460 kilograms screamed 42 kilometers at 780 meters per second. One hit could rip through any battleship armor like paper. Yet here's the grim irony. They feared her own power. Full broadside salvo? Strictly forbidden. The recoil would rock the ship violently, shatter optics, jam mechanisms. Orders were ironclad. Maximum 6 guns, staggered salvos. Each turret alone weighed 2,730 tons, more than an entire American Fletcher-class destroyer. Inside those turrets, engineering wizardry. Shells rose on hydraulic cradles from deep magazines, slid forward to the breech. Then 655-kilogram powder bags were rammed home in one fluid hydraulic thrust. No human hands ever touched the explosive. This drastically reduced the risk of internal turret detonation and delivered a rate of fire up to 2 rounds per minute. A symphony of destruction. Secondary armament began with 155-millimeter triples, later stripped for more anti-aircraft guns. By 1945, she bristled with 162 by 25-millimeter barrels and 12 by 127-millimeter dual-purpose guns. Desperate shields against the sky. 7 float planes launched from catapults to hunt her prey. By the way, even within the Japanese Navy, the guns were officially called Special Type 40 centimeters, to avoid revealing the true caliber in radio intercepts and documents. The Americans intercepted this, and long believed they were really 406 millimeters. The full shock came only after the war, and in a rare touch of humanity, air conditioning in combat stations and officer quarters. For 2,700 to 3,300 men, this floating city offered a sliver of comfort amid the steel hell. Part 4. Service and Combat. Shadow on the Ocean. She commissioned on December 16, 1941, just 9 days after Pearl Harbor's flames lit the Pacific, flagship of the combined fleet. At midway in June 1942, Yamato watched disaster unfold from her bridge, 300 miles away. Not a single shot fired. For years, she lurked at Truk, Hotel Yamato, to mocking Americans, burning irreplaceable fuel while carriers ruled the waves. Only once did her main guns thunder in anger. October 25, 1944, off Samar during Leyte Gulf. She hurled shells at escort carriers and destroyers from over 30 kilometers. The only time 18.1-inch guns ever engaged live enemy warships at sea. By 1945, she carried Type 21 air search radars, approximately 100 kilometers range, and Type 22 surface search radars, approximately 30 kilometers, but Japanese radars lagged behind American ones in accuracy and jamming resistance, so at Samar she fired on visual targets. Part 5. Final Mission. Giant Kamikaze, April 1945. Japan was bleeding out. Okinawa burned under American boots. In desperation, the Emperor asked, "Where is the Navy?" A misunderstood whisper became doom. Operation 10 Go. Yamato, cruiser Yahagi, 8 destroyers, one-way ticket, fuel for Okinawa only. Orders: beach herself, become a fortress, fight till the last shell. The crew knew the truth. No return. The Americans knew about the sortie before the Japanese themselves. The order was intercepted and decrypted on March 26, 1945, via the Ultra program. By April 5th, they already knew the route, escort, and even fuel quantity. Admiral Spruance set the perfect ambush in advance. April 7th, dawn. 200 miles out, the sky blackened with 386 carrier planes from Task Force 58. Hell descended. Bombs tore decks. Torpedoes ripped the port side. 11 hits. List: oil blood. Slowing. The crew fought floods, sealed compartments, drowned in engine rooms to counter the list. At 14:23, the forward magazines detonated. A volcanic eruption. A mushroom cloud soared 6 kilometers high, visible from 160 kilometers away. Some U.S. pilots compared it to a nuclear mushroom cloud, though it was just a massive powder explosion from the enormous ammunition load. 3,055 souls perished out of 3,332. Captain Aruga Ito stood on the tilting bridge, sword at his side, and went down with his ship. Part 6. Legacy and Declassified Secrets. In 1985, she was found at 340 meters, upside down, broken in two, bow torn off by her own fury. Yamato became myth. Engineering miracle, national soul, strategic madness. Resources for 10 aircraft carriers poured into a dinosaur as air power ruled the seas. One combat sortie. Minimal damage inflicted. Yet there were ghosts. The Super Yamato A-150 project with 6 508mm guns and 80 to 90,000 tons displacement. Blueprints were nearly complete by 1941, but war and steel shortages buried it. Some details remain lost or still classified. Myths live on. People said Yamato never fired her main battery. Lie, she did at Leyte. That she was unsinkable. No, just extremely tough. That the U.S. built the Montana class specifically against her. Partly true, but Montana was designed when they only had rumors of 406 to 450mm guns. The legend endures. In the anime space battleship Yamato, in films, in games, a tragic redemption saga across generations. She was never just a ship. She was Japan's wild, beautiful, doomed dream of supremacy. A warning carved in steel. Hubris sinks even the mightiest giants. Thank you for riding this epic with me. If it hit hard, like, subscribe, ring the bell. More hidden truths of the world's deadliest wars are coming. This is The Last War, where legends bleed truth. See you in the next video.